How you doing, everybody, and welcome to Dicey Decisions, where we roll dice, spin stories, and play some Dungeons and Dragons. This week's Dicey Spotlight focuses entirely on all of the creators who have had events canceled because of the novel coronavirus. If that doesn't date this episode, I don't know what does. And we want to make sure that independent creators get as much attention and support as possible, because if hourly workers are having trouble, you can bet independent creators are having even more trouble. So if you have a friend who's working on stuff, if you know someone on the internet who is working on stuff, make sure you show them some extra love over the next coming weeks. And with no further ado, let us jump into this episode of Dicey Decisions. Last we left our story, a miracle has remedied tragedy. From the cold dark of death, your valiant efforts have returned Soot to life. I can speak words. Amid tearful reunions, your rejoicing is cut short by aggressive knocking on the door and an unfamiliar voice calling out. By order of the council and the authority of the crown, you are all under arrest. Lay down your arms and come out with your hands still. If you attempt to cast any magic, we will release arrows. What are you guys doing?
Helga looks around at everyone and is like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
Great. Val?
She's still, she's, she has been helped to her feet by Oran and Gurg, here in this space, but, she still looks out of it. Like whatever had taken hold of her for that whole monologue, it took a lot out of her.
You don't happen to have like a secret crawl space or a cellar or a tunnel out of here? That would be very convenient. Don't happen to have one of those, do you?
I think we have to fight.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Soot has been mostly dead all day.
Slit, you do not have to fight. I can do.
I don't think fighting the paladins I've just seen is a good idea.
Why? I thought we hate them.
Val kind of, shakes herself a bit. Oren is still holding her up, but she is able to stand on her own, and she looks around at all of you, and then motions for all of you to kind of move towards the back of the room where there's one wooden door in the back stone wall. Because this is very much built like a classic old Catholic church where it's just this one big room and then there's a door in the back behind the well, giant statue of a skeletal tree. That's
Good thing
what
I'm not Catholic.
Good thing you're not Catholic and you're not understanding anything. It is a large rectangular space. Okay. Shit. The room you're in is a large rectangular space, about 40 feet wide and 60 feet long, and in the back wall behind there's a pulpit for preaching, and then there's the large skeletal marble tree. Behind that in the wall is a wooden door that she motions you all towards, and basically just whispers, okay, just go ahead and cram in here as best as you can. And she opens the door, and it's a kind of a storage slash living space. It seems to be where she beds down.
Bed sound.
God damn it. I missed you, Tiff.
I'm just gonna seriously just pick up Soot and bring him in there because he is tiny baby. And I'm gonna like grab Helga by her furs and like drag her backwards because I know she wants to fight.
Hey.
Look, Helga, I need you to take care of Soot right now. Just be taking care of Soot. And if you need to fight to protect him, that's fine. But right now he needs to be our priority, okay?
Okay.
Are there any windows in this place, Mike?
Yes, there are. There are several stained glass windows depicting, tree iconography, a few skulls, what appears to be the image of a tall cloaked woman with a pale marble face.
But no, like, functional windows?
No functional windows. They're all very pretty stained glass.
Okay. Finnan is going to move behind one of the pews and attempt to hide.
I toss him my cloak. If you wear this in shadows, people tend to not see you.
I don't think they'll have much issue not seeing me, but I appreciate it. And he takes it and dons it.
All right. You don't get any bonus from it because you're not attuned to it, but it looks nice.
Oh shit, I forgot about that. So that's not working, and I just take it back.
Yeah, you might need this more than me.
As soon as Katrina puts it back on, it shifts colors to blend with that area around
I'm
her.
going to roll a stealth check.
Okay, go ahead and do that. While you all are doing this, Val is currently ushering and cramming the massive frame of Gurg, and followed by Oran, into this back room, and is just muttering, okay, look, they're not... They by law cannot come in here, but they will wait outside, and people need to eat. And they're very willing to starve you all out. So I'm going to go see if I can maybe convince them that you're not actually here. And, oh, this is...
And I'm gonna pull my fine clothes out of my bag, and I point at everyone, and I was like, "There, go! Don't look!" And I just start kind of throwing my dress on top of my armor.
On top of your armor.
Yeah,
Oh my lord.
like I did earlier, because I'm not giving up my armor, DC. No siree, Bob, that ain't happening.
I need you to roll a performance check.
Sure. And we haven't taken a rest or anything since that fight, have we?
Nope, you haven't.
Good, I'm at 24 hit points.
So it's that 1 hit point.
Yeah.
You said performance check?
Mm-hmm.
So real quickly, Pat's while Kat was carrying him, he slept. Oh wait, hold on. Let's see your roll. Actually, no, yeah, you're good. Never mind.
Yeah, I rolled the natural 20.
Ooh.
All right. As opposed to the first time when you put it on, you kind of figured out how to layer it as best you can, and there's not a lot of fabric to this dress, and yet as you put it on, it does not look like you're wearing a full plate armor underneath it.
And I've got my cloak on top, so that helps.
Yeah, it just all of that combines to do that. All right, what is your stealth check, sir?
23.
Jesus fucking Christ. Okay. Yeah, you watch as Finn ducks behind a pew, and you can't see him anymore.
I'm gonna go by a pew, and I'm going to pull my cloak over my head, and I'm gonna kneel down and start acting like I'm praying.
I would like to point out, before you all continue, that there's still a magic circle drawn in chalk on the ground, and a lot of the pews are pushed out of the way.
Yeah, Helga's gonna start moving stuff back where it belongs.
All right, I'm gonna quickly start moving things and
All right, so Katrina's already done something. Ben has already done something. I will allow Helga to try to clean up the whole space.
Helga's like, ah.
Sight is also going to help clean up the space while also
No, you need
Try-
to lay down.
no,
Go lay
no,
down.
no. He
As soon
listen.
as it moves to like try to help lift stuff, I'm like, no, go lay down.
No, he's gonna try to. He wants
Shoot.
to see. No, he's gonna try to see what this magic is. I want to do a straight up like,
You want to determine like what that magic circle is?
yes, I need to
Alright.
know what this magic circle is.
You
Tell
can
me-
roll an Arcana check, and Helga, I will have you roll a general. I'll say a stealth check to see if you can move things around quietly and just like all that stuff.
Can it not be religion?
I said Arcana.
Dang it. Okay,
I'm
fine.
doing stealth, you said?
Stealth, yes. You're trying to stealthily clean up. Coming
Just
down to like no time left.
straight up 13.
A 13.
Mhm.
It appears to be a necromantic type of spell, which does deal with the process of life and death. And it was the space that you woke up retching and coughing in. You can surmise this was part of the process that brought you back from whatever darkness took you. But no more
I
than
rolled
that.
a 7 first. I rolled a 7 for stealth.
As you're pushing the pews back together, and
What are you talking about? Helga would lift them. If the,
okay, fine. You lift it up, and then you drop one of them on your foot.
clonk. Ouch.
So there's so there's just a loud
Ah!
as you drop it on your foot.
Finnan quietly puts his face in his hands.
Nobody sees this.
Good.
All right. So you've all made your preparations.
Do I at
and
least
the-
get the pews back in order?
You do. It was not
But I just
stealthy, but you got everything back in order.
I can
So-
deal with that.
Val kind of straightens herself up, strides over to the door. Now that all of you are are Helga and Soot hiding? What are you two doing?
Yeah, we've hidden back in that little recess thing.
Yeah, we're going back to the back door.
Yeah, just as you close that door, Val pulls Finnan, and well, I guess just Finnan would see Val open the main doors into the Silver Church. And that same gruff voice says, "We have word there are criminals hiding in here. If you are harboring fugitives, you will be prosecuted to the highest extent of the law. I suggest you turn them all over to us now." And Val is going to... Oh, Val kind of splutters and... I assure you, there's no... There are... No, do not come in here. You do not have any form of warrant to allow yourself to come into a place of worship. I must ask that you leave. Good day.
Sure.
And she slams the door in this person's face, who immediately starts banging on the door again. Open up! Send them out now!
Do I want to make an attempt to try and bullshit our way out of this or not, guys?
I think that we don't really have much time, so you guys better decide what to do now, because I'm not really good with people, clearly.
Lay low. Lay low.
Open up in there!
I wanted to make a move, but then Val slammed the door.
Nobody here but us bears.
Finnan,
Yeah.
if I try and bullshit, do you have my back and promise not to ask any questions?
Sure.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so we're doing this. I'm going to go to the door and
Val is currently bracing herself against it, like, just kind of panicking.
listen, you're fine. You're not doing anything wrong. If there's not a back exit or anything, any way for you to get out, just if things get shitty, please hide. You've done us a great service.
What do you want me to do, Cat?
You are. I am your friend from out of town, and I needed to come and pay homage, and I'm very religious, and we're very confused as to what's going on here. I'm keeping my cloak up. I'm gonna need you to bullshit, but I do have this, and I pull out my scroll of pedigree, which can probably get us a little bit of bargaining. They don't know my name, so.
All right. I got this. And he kind of puts on like the face and just
Customer service fee.
yes, he puts on his customer service face.
All right. While all this is happening, Helga, Soot, Oren, and Gerg, what are y'all doing in that back room?
Hiding with my axe at the ready.
Okay.
Like, she's the closest to the door, like, ready to fucking axe someone if they try to come in and mess with us.
Sut is going to turn around and slap Helga on the forehead with a guidance.
Okay.
Soot's gonna slap me on the forehead. How's Soot gonna slap me on the forehead?
I assume you were holding him.
No!
I'm
I set
slap
you
you.
down, I'm guarding the door with my axe.
I'm gonna slap you anyway.
What are you gonna slap? You slap Helga's butt?
Yeah.
Okay. Because that's what you can read. Pretty sure.
Yeah. It's dark. No one can see. Sut just like he feels for Helga and like slaps.
Yeah,
you have guidance, a D4 for an ability check
Ah,
within the next minute. And that's what I'm gonna do for now.
So, we bring it back to Katrina and Finnan. Val kind of nods to you two and steps aside and kind of just moves into the shadows as best she can.
So Finnan is going to slide the door open and look up at the myriad of people. How many people are actually out there?
So as the door opens, about 5 feet away, the banging on the door had stopped while you were all kind of like quickly planning, and you see a tall figure in what appears to be paladin captain regalia, a nice decorative shoulder pauldrons, facing a group of 10 paladins, 5 of which are currently carrying heavy crossbows aimed at the doors of the church, 5 of which in front of them are kind of like in windows each. They all seem to be prepared for you all to come out like guns a-blazing, as it were, because the 5 in front have set up a spear wall. And he is like kind of addressing them, just like, hold here, they can't wait in there forever. Our intelligence is good. And then he hears the door open and turns around. State your name.
My name is Finnan Goodbarrel, sir.
How many other people are in there with you?
Just my friend from out of town. We were paying our respects to the lady, and we'll be going now.
Hold. We have information that there are wanted criminals in this building, and they might be getting help.
I don't know anything about any criminals. I've just been here praying with my friend.
Roll a deception check.
All day. The whole day.
Yep.
No one's coming.
I'm real pious.
Do you say that, Katrina?
No, I do not say that.
In an extremely southern accent.
I'm a
That
real
was- That was just the au natural Carl accent coming out.
That is a 14.
Someone needs to do some kind of magic on them, like Jedi mind trick them.
He narrows his eyes at you and looks at the cloaked figure behind him and pulls out he's holding a great sword at his side, but and points to the both of you and says, "Come out here with your hands still."
Finnan puts his hands up and he steps out and he motions for the cloaked figure to follow.
I follow. And I'm walking all dainty and shy and pious-like and being just as ladylike as I've been trained to be.
Did you leave your sword inside the church?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And then you do have a weapon at your side. And the captain points at it, says, "Drop it."
Understood. Drops his rapier.
And you are assured that there are no others except for the graver.
Yes.
And then he turns around and points at two of the spear paladins. Says, "Go inside, check." And then turns around to the two of you. You're going to be coming with us to the Blade Consign. I think that we might have some more questions for you.
Do you have a warrant?
And who are you?
My name is Lady Zamira. And she's still keeping her head down and, being shy and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
From where do you hail?
The Mist Kingdoms.
So a lady from the Mist Kingdoms comes and does not have any sort of retainer or bodyguard.
I left my bodyguard back where I was staying. This is a place of the gods, and I didn't think it was necessary.
Well, I'm afraid you must be more familiar with the goings-on in this city. There's been a series of very dangerous killings that have happened, specifically at the docks recently. And we have reason to believe that those criminals actually have been in this church recently. And as he's saying this, the two spear paladins are actually walking past you all and entering the church, and you hear them like just start calling out in there. Helga and Soot, you hear two nervous sounding voices going, "Hello?"
Turn around to look at where the voice is coming from.
You're still in that room. You hear the voices coming through the door.
Oh.
Oh, and Kat's sitting here just like praying Helga keeps her cool.
Finnan has the just complete mask of customer service on.
The other paladins have started to, the other spear paladins have started to shift forward at a motion from the captain, as the captain's still like trying to get a look at Katrina's face. Says, "You said you left your bodyguard somewhere in the city. Where?"
Dragon's Flagon.
I need both of you to roll deception check.
That is a non-natural 20 from me.
Okay.
That's a 19 from me.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah!
All right.
Still guarding the door. Like, I'm not gonna open the door and come out.
You hear the two paladins inside the church questioning Val, who's just fluttering and being super unhelpful to them.
Oh my god.
And they're just asking a bunch of questions like, "Who else has been here today?" She's just like, no one. And just gonna have them roll an investigation check, I guess. Then you hear the voices get near, and you hear one of them ask, "What's back there?" And Val's just like, "Oh, that's just my sleeping quarters. Seriously, it's like a broom closet, basically." "Really? Open it."
Alright,
Shit. Fuck.
Shit.
Helga turns around to everyone. Guys, act like brooms.
God damn it.
Is there anywhere in the room that looks like we can, like, just hide real quick?
Just send them in one at a time, and Helga will just axe them down.
No.
Oh.
Mm-mm.
Sit,
If
like,
you're
shaking
gonna
his
try
head.
to-
No, 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 no.
You're gonna try to hide. Go ahead and roll a stealth check. It is like a bit of a storage space, a lot bigger than a broom closet. And
I'm
there's a
not-
bed, so there's things to hide behind. Jurgen and Oran
Okay.
are already gonna try.
I'm not gonna
Things
hide.
to hide behind. You're not
I
gonna
have-
hide?
No, I have another thing planned.
Oh,
That-
no.
Oh, I was gonna say we could put Soot down on the bed and then I'll cover him with one of my furs. He'll look like a pillow.
Oh, I can do that. No, we can do that.
Let's do that.
Okay.
And then Helga will find somewhere to hide behind.
Okay,
Hide
both of you roll a
hide
stealth
behind-
check.
Hide behind the door. I don't know. With your axe.
Yeah, I'm still gonna hold my axe just in case.
16.
I rolled 11.
Oh no! Remember to roll your d4.
Oh yeah, plus 13.
Nice.
Okay. So
I rolled
the
a
four of
13
you,
still.
the four of you quickly and quietly rush to get behind some things. Gurg and Oran dive behind a couple of barrels. Soot, actually, Oran goes under the bed. Gurg tries to make himself look like a fucking couch in the corner. Soot, you turn into a pillow, and Helga, you hide behind where the door would be.
Poof.
Just as the door swings open, and so you're able to see the shadow of two spear wielding paladins, you assume, kind of looking around. Then one of them turns around and says, "A lot bigger than a broom closet," and slams the door closed.
Okay.
Katrina and Finnan, you two see the paladin. Oh gosh, my heart palpitations are.
Oh, that's been me for the past 5 minutes.
And I shit you not, they rolled a 7 on their perception check.
Good.
So
Good.
Not d4.
yeah, they rolled a 7 on their perception, but their passive perception is 12, and you still beat that. So nicely done.
Ooh, so that D4 was like the lifesaver then.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck yeah.
So-
Got it.
Good call, Tiff.
So, Finnan and Katrina, you both are kind of waiting with bated breath as the two spear-wielding paladins exit the church, followed by Graver Val, who's just like, "Now, I hope you understand that you should never do that again without a proper warrant. Coming in here and threatening me with weapons like that." And one of them turns around and says, "Shut up!" and pushes her back in and closes the door of the church with a resounding boom. And then they turn around to the captain and says, "Yeah, nothing else in there. They mostly cleared out." Do you two say anything?
Finnan is just sitting there with a very, not even a grin, just kind of a normal kind of placid smile.
Idle animation.
Yes, he is in full like bartender idle animation right now.
What can I get you?
If he had a glass to be wiping, he'd be doing that.
Yep.
he's just idly rubbing the one spot on the bar with the dish rag.
But in reality, he's literally just kind of standing there looking probably at the captain, just to kind of like keeping his eyes on him at all times, and hands still just raised up, like he's moved not even an inch.
The great sword is still drawn, and it is quickly pointed at the two of you. You two are going to be coming with us. We have some questions.
Why would we be coming with you? You didn't find anything. You have no reason to suspect us. You have no warrant.
Well, miss.
And seeing the way that you treat your clergy, I am not very inclined to come with you.
Well, my lady, as you can see, there were no murderers in that church, which is all well and good, but they could still be around. I think it's best if you have some sort of armed guard with you, especially since you left your bodyguard with you.
To be fair, I was armed.
And he was accompanying me.
Yes, she is my guest.
The captain kind of looks you up and down, but will down and down. Finnan.
Down and then down further.
Down and then down further. And
Happens a
kind of
lot.
just scoffs at the idea of you being dangerous. You were armed, but
Armed but not dangerous.
and the captain just once again tries to get another look at your face, Katrina.
I'm keeping my chin down.
If you would like to deliver a warrant to have proper words with the lady, you can deliver it to the Dragon's Flagon. For now, we must be going. I do have dinner waiting.
You're not technically lying. Go ahead and roll a persuasion check. If you... Yeah, roll a persuasion check.
That is a 19.
The captain gives one last look at the church. One long look at you two. Kind of sneers and then turns on his heel, sheathing his greatsword over his back, and motions to the rest of the paladins to follow, and they march away.
Finnan waits until every single one has cleared from sight. Just still unmoving, hands raised. He hasn't even retrieved his rapier yet.
Their marching slowly fades into the distance.
The moment that they're clear... Fuck.
Oh my god, that was so good. You are the best bullshitter I've ever seen.
Listen. This is real bad.
Yeah, this is really, really, really not good.
So, here's what I'm thinking right this second. We need to keep up appearances at least until nightfall. So, I'm going to turn around and re-enter the church to offer tithes back to Val since she was so disturbed by the paladin's actions. And that's going to be our chance to tell Helga and Soot and Oran and Gerg to meet us at the Flagon at nightfall.
Is it going to be safe there now that we've given them, you know, is there
I
anywhere
mean-
else we could meet?
I'm trying to think. Alright, so he kind of, rubs his temples, like, alright, so here's how this is gonna go down. I'm gonna go back in there, I'm gonna offer the tithes, it's all that bullshit. I don't know if they're still watching or anything like that. All of us are gonna go separate locations. You're all gonna go to this shop. And Finnan, rattles off exactly where it's at in the parlance of street names and whatnot that is fitting for Daggerall.
Sure.
We'll split up, we'll meet back there. Nobody goes with anyone else. I'll take Soot with me if I have to. Are we in agreement, Kat?
Yeah, works for me.
We'll both go back in. It would be unbecoming for a guard to leave his lady.
Of course, because I am entirely helpless, and I summon my sword.
Listen, I'm just trying to keep up goddamn appearances. You gotta go along with the bitch.
I know. Let's go.
And he opens up the door to the church and kind of makes sure it's gently closed behind him.
What's your passive perception, you two?
Oh, I don't like that question.
I don't like that question either.
Mine is a 15.
15.
So the area that you're in isn't just rolling hills. It's a number of small cottages, some two-story building, kind of clustered around this church. This church is maybe 100, 200 feet away from the walls of the city, so it's in the shadows of this massive wall. As you two are going inside, you do notice what looks like a armor-clad figure ducking back inside of the gates of the city.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that.
Ooh.
Dumbass.
So, Helga and Soot, you hear the doors open and close again, and the voices of Katrina and Finnan and a very relieved-sounding Val talking again.
So I look at Oran and Gerg like, do we go out now?
Oran goes to the door and opens it a tiny bit, and then opens it all the way and says, "Okay, so
Fuck!
that was awful."
Yeah, agreed.
And I think we might have just gotten peeked on because I did something stupid, so we should probably make haste and get out of here. Fidden has a friend, and then there's always Artur if we think it's going to be smarter to split up, seeing as Oran and Gerg aren't exactly associated with us yet.
That is a good point.
Yeah, but you are now, so we really appreciate everything you've done for us, Finnan. You're kind of stuck with us now.
It's okay.
So I hope you're prepared for that.
You learn a few things owning a tavern. One of which is very quick mental arithmetic.
Oh, while we're here, Finnan, Soot, Finnan.
Oh, nice to finally meet you.
So with his like milky eyes, this whole time he's been like staring at Val, but he finally like looks at Finnan. It's like, hello. I am Soot.
I am Finnan I don't even have fucking energy for the whole bit anymore. I'm Finnan. You've been to the Dragon's Flag and that tavern that you all apparently have been going to since you've been in the city. I'm the proprietor of it.
Oh, barley.
You are correct, Soot. That is an ingredient of beer. So,
I love Soot.
pleasantries aside, I do have a plan.
If it involves getting arrested, I'm not interested.
You know what? That's kind of low on the directory of this plan, but you know what? I never leave anything off the table.
We should walk and talk, guys.
Yes, so basically, this shop, go here, tell him Half Stout sent you. He'll take care of you. Oran, Gerg, if you want to head to our tours, just kind of keep up the appearances of you all aren't associated with us, kind of maybe work out a game plan with our tour, and send a letter over to the Flagon if you can manage it. We'll have Kvatya send something over to us.
I don't feel comfortable leaving you all, but it's gonna be no help if we're all arrested, so just be careful and we'll see what we can dig up.
Just get in touch with Kvatya. She knows how to reach me.
All right. Let's go. And Gerg and Oran steal quietly out of the church.
I guess Helga will go also after them. Like, wait a few minutes and then...
Alright, so if all of you are going to be doing it separately, we'll just basically kind of yada yada that. I want everyone who is going by themselves to make a stealth check.
I think Soot was going to go with me and Finnan.
Okay.
Yeah, because I do, if I remember correctly, I do have Hops here with me.
Oh, right, that's the donkey.
Yeah. We can put Soot in the cart again, underneath a blanket.
Ah, that's where my body's been.
Oh, God.
Okay, so I only need a stealth check from Helga. What'd you get?
I got a 6.
Oh.
Great.
Oh.
Wonderful.
The next part of this arc shall be bringing Helga from jail.
Alright, so we'll resolve that later.
Great. I love that.
Real quick though, Soot has been trying to like memorize everything about this chapel before they leave, and like has been staring down Val since he's woken up.
Oh,
Because-
man. Why Val?
Because of the voices that he heard before he woke up.
And
And-
before we leave, I am going to like grab Val and give her our thanks again.
Yes. Like, we're probably the last ones out. I probably actually go and, like, pull the cart around with Hops.
Alright, yeah, so Soot, Cat, and Val are kind of alone for a moment, and Cat gives Val her thanks, and Val says, it's It was for a noble cause, and she looks down at Soot and smiles. She's like, I'm glad it turned out for the better.
Soot reaches out for her hands and repeats the words. No, never mind.
Okay.
Just, thank you.
She smiles down and looks at the two of you. If all of this blows over and we're still here at the end of all of this, I'd very much like to sit down and maybe have a talk about whatever the hell just happened today.
Yes, we'll maybe have the meeting at a less conspicuous place.
Yes, but go. If I know anything about the paladins, they're tenacious and they might be back.
Yeah.
That they're assholes, and they might be back.
All assholes are in the back.
Ha
If there isn't, consult your doctor.
If your
ha.
asshole is not behind you, please see a doctor.
You may have a case of wandering asshole.
God damn it, I was drinking.
Is that like the wandering uterus?
I can scrap that battle map that I had for you guys.
Yeah.
Never underestimate the power of bullshit.
We are the sneaky fuckers.
The sneaky
Hugga wanted to
fuckers.
fight
That's how you get a wandering asshole.
by being a sneaky fucker.
So, the three of you, as you make your way out, you can do a stealth check as a group with advantage, or you can each of you do your own.
I will make the stealth check for the group, seeing as how I have a large number.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that makes
I
the
feel like
most
that's
sense.
a good idea.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
will be under the blankets as a dead body again.
Well, if I have advantage, I'm glad because that was a 3.
So it's like fucking, ooh, deja vu.
That is much better. That is a 24.
All right. Okay, so as you all make your way, the three of you,
On our way out of town.
of course, waited for a bit. Helga went off on her own into the city.
Died.
The three of you moved out into the cobblestone road, heading through the gates. As you make your way through the gates, you take the first available left to get out of the main thoroughfare. Just keeping yourselves as inconspicuous as possible. It's about early afternoon now, and as you take a turn down an alley, Hops is just clopping his way along. You hear the sound of clanking of armored boots behind you, getting closer and then passing further away, as it seems like 2 platoons of paladins are moving back towards the church.
Big oof.
The three of you move forward and are kind of making a quick way through the city, and we will pick up with you three in a moment. Helga.
Shit, fuck, tits, ass, bitch.
Helga, you get
Dude
into
has
the
all of
city.
those.
Get into the city, and you're using all of your survival skills that you could possibly know, and you realize those don't really work in an urban setting.
Yeah.
Because there's no brush. There's no brush to hide in. You look very different from everyone else, and you quickly find yourself ducking into alleyways to avoid patrolling paladins, and you very nearly avoid several of them. So you find yourself in the kind of business district where there's a number of paladins patrolling, and you have found yourself kind of cornered behind some boxes in an alleyway, and there's about 3 or 4 paladins just kind of standing at the entrance, kind of facing the road. They don't seem to know that you're there, but you're kind of trapped. What are you doing?
Just so they're standing where now? I'm in an alley, and they're
You're in a dead end alley between 2
Yeah.
buildings. stuck behind some boxes, and some
Yeah.
paladins on their patrol have kind of just stopped at the entryway to this alley and kind of leaning against the walls, just chatting a bit as they rest, and they're just looking out, watching all the people in the street.
Gonna like wait 5 minutes or so for them to pass.
One of them pees against the wall.
Gross.
Two of them are just kind of talking about just the recent goings on, talking about the massacre at the docks, and that everyone's calling it just, so many personal security of one of the council members' houses just absolutely butchered. Supposedly really powerful Arcanist warriors did it, and they might have gotten help. Maybe there's a coup or something, and they're just kind of they're low level employees, basically trying to figure out what's going on up in corporate. Because one of them,
Pug is like, wow.
one of them, while one of them, the one that's peeing against the wall, is just like, oh yeah, that's probably why they called that emergency council meeting, because gods know what's going to be happening. Maybe there's some whole threat to the city. You might actually be able to see some action as opposed to just guard duty. And then one of them just turns around like, oh god, that smells awful. What have you been eating?
Asparagus.
And that is when your 6 comes into play, Helga.
My what? Oh.
That's when the 6 that you rolled comes
Does
into play.
does Helga smell bad?
One of them, the other one says, "No, that's not. Who's back there?" And pulls out their spear, starts moving back towards where you're hiding. You're pretty well hidden for now, but if you don't do anything, they will just come around and see you.
Okay.
Oh god.
I'm gonna brace myself with my axe out and wait for them to come around and see me. There's 2 of them or 3? Did you say? I forgot.
There's 4.
There's
Oh,
4 of them.
no.
I
Yeah.
can take it.
Oh
Okay.
no.
So as you prepare yourself, the music swells, and we cut to a meanwhile.
Are you okay? Just to be clear here, are you saying that Helga smells so bad that they caught her?
You rolled a
'Cause-
6.
There.
You were bared out all night, and
I
you
was
were just
bared
in a
out all night.
slime dungeon.
Yeah. I do smell bad.
And you did actually go into the water.
Oh yeah, I stank. I'm a stinky bear.
Continuity.
Didn't take a lot of convincing, did it?
The 3 of you find yourselves kind of clopping down a side road, and you spot about 4 paladins standing outside of an alleyway. They seem to be looking into the alleyway, and they have their spears drawn. You think probably if you keep your heads down, you could get by them without any notice.
Let's just be careful.
As you pass by, you hear one of them say, "Who's there? Come out!"
Okay, so Finnan is just glancing over. Is there any way I could make a check to kind of...
Yeah, y'all can make a perception check. If well, Katrina's keeping her head down, so Finnan, you can make a perception.
That's an 8.
Great.
Well, Helga rolled a 6, so you see Helga hiding behind some barrels.
So he very quietly, he kind of slows Hops a little bit, just like, all right, Hops, I know you're tired. Let's slow it down a little bit. And then he just leans over as the change in clopping against the cobblestones makes a little bit of a mask for the sound. He just leans over to Katrina and just says, Helga's in the back of that alley. They're going to find her any moment.
Okay, diversion time. Excuse me, and she's gonna walk up, to the guys, to the paladins, and still keeping her head down. Excuse me, I seem to be lost. Would you be able to give me some directions?
Finn is just gonna kind of continue moving down the street as though he wasn't actually with Katrina.
All right. Helga, as you are preparing yourself for battle, you hear the tiniest voice that is vaguely familiar ask, "Oh, excuse me, I'm a little lost." One of the paladins, the paladin with the spear, kind of turns around, surprised, and all of them turn around to see this young woman with her
Very small woman.
very small woman with her cloak drawn about her. They're all like, like the youngest one is probably like 19 and the oldest one is maybe like 20. Like they're all like paladin recruits basically, and they'll just seem like confused and they don't know. They clearly haven't been asked for directions before.
And Finnan is definitely like still within eye shot, so kind of if Helga was looking, she might see the cart and recognize Finnan.
If you peek out Helga, you would, as they turn around, you would see Katrina running interference, and Finnan kind of like giving you the eye from the cart.
Finn's giving me an eye.
He's
It's-
holding out a singular eye. Yes.
Yes.
And then he just
Cool.
eats it across the alleyway.
Takes,
That's-
takes the eye. Thank you.
That's
No.
a very
No,
distracting
I'm kidding.
diagram.
He is slowing in a leisurely sort of like, oh, I'm just having a nice afternoon stroll through the city with my donkey. But it's within eye shot of the
Helga?
of the alley and Helga, yes.
I got separated from my gods, and I don't know where. And then she just starts like she puts her head in her hands and like starts crying.
Roll a
Oh,
deception
no.
check.
Nope.
Okay, that would be a 5.
All of them, their hands kind of go to the bags at their sides where probably they keep their coin, and the one that's closest to you kind of like puts his finger in your face. It's like, all right, you best be getting out of here.
But I don't know where here is.
And another one, kind of like the youngest one, the 19-year-old, kind of snivelly, with the big nose, got freckles across his face. All right, look, there's no begging happening around here in the walls of the city. You better go out to the slums.
I don't think that and now I'm being a little bolder. I don't think that I have need to be begging. Could you please direct me towards the inn?
How are you? What is your demeanor when you obviously switch this up here?
Kind of just like coquettish, head cocked to the side, almost flirtatious by
Gross.
someone who like definitely does not know how to flirt.
One moment.
Guys, cat's flirting. Call the police.
Yeah, hold on. Let me just get on the line real fast.
Oh wait, they're here. Never mind.
They are the police. You are the brute
Shit.
squad.
Yeah, the one that was closest to Helga steps forward and has this look of recognition. Wait a second. I've seen your face before.
She's famous.
I would like to do something. Give me a moment to process. I have a question, Mike,
I
and
have
this
an
is definitely fishing.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's the part of town that we're in like?
It's a number of taller buildings where the bottom floors are going to be shops and businesses, and the top floors are where those shop owners and their families live.
Okay, so business district, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
Narrow streets. Clearly, all of these buildings were built within the big stone walls of this district.
Is
Probably-
there any of those shops that look vacant?
It does not appear so.
And then, so Kat's just gonna shrug and be like, you know what? I think I'll ask for help somewhere friendlier. And she turns around and like walks into a shop, just like completely turns her back on them.
Smart.
All right. You do that, and as you go into the shop, Finnan sees at least. They all kind of like share a look and start to follow. Two of them kind of gripping their spears, and the other two having their hands on their short swords. Helga, you are left alone, though.
You see, now they're after Cat. Oh my god.
Get over here.
Oh, okay. Helga like goes back over to the cart. Yes.
Get in the fucking cart right fuck now.
Oh, okay, gets in the cart. That's good, because I rolled an insight. Because I couldn't decide, like, would Helga figure this out? And I rolled an insight check for myself, and she got an 8, and I'm like, Helga doesn't know what it's trying to do.
Get under the blanket with Soot.
Okay.
So now Helga is hiding in the cart with Soot.
Yes.
Soot probably like peeks up from behind the blanket, like, what?
Hi, Soot. Hello, Soot.
Hello.
Keep your heads down.
Oh, yes.
What shop is Katrina in?
It is a hat shop.
A haberdashery.
There's some very curvy lettering that's very hard to read, but you make out on the glass, Hardix's haberdashery.
Oh my
Fuck
god.
you! Fuck you! Fuck!
I will pretend to get the joke. Fuck you, Mike.
You'll understand in a few minutes, I
You
assume.
just have to listen to his name. His name is Hardix.
Okay, so I have a question, Mike. How far are we from Otto's?
You're about a few streets down.
How far are we from O'Reilly's Auto Parts?
A couple of, I don't know, alternate universes away.
O'Reilly.
O'Reilly's
Auto Parts.
Ow!
All right.
Sorry,
So-
that was a hiccup.
So Katrina, as you
I did want to say real fast that Finnan is going to head towards Otto's, just not full tilt. He's not like Initial D drifting through the streets of Daggerol, but he is certainly moving with purpose.
It's always good to move with purpose.
all right, cool. Yeah, so you start moving, keeping on the way. And you have traded cargo basically. Katrina, as you enter this shop, it is, as I said, a haberdashery. There's a lot of funky hats. It smells really weird and musty in here. Strangely familiar, actually, because behind the desk is the tiniest, like lump of a man underneath a large, wide-brimmed, pointed hat with a big nose sticking out from the darkness and a big puff of a beard, and a voice says, "Oh hey!
Oh, by the 9, I'm so fucked.
What brings you here? Did you ever have a chance to talk to Lily? I haven't heard from her in a bit."
Hello there, my old friend. And she gets really excited and goes in and hugs him, and it's just being all,
He smells awful.
Yeah, I know. And she's like, "Oh, it's so good to see you. I've only just gotten into town today.
Oh no!
No, I haven't had an opportunity to talk to Lily yet. You didn't really give us much to go by on finding her."
Oh, you'll find
And
her
she
eventually.
just totally throws herself in, chin on her hand on the counter, and is keeping her head turned away from the door, and is just being very animated.
All right. Yeah, and Hardix the wizard continues just blathering on. "Oh, don't worry about it. You'll find her eventually. I just when you find her, just tell her I'm sorry and I'd like to see her again. But I've been hearing some pretty dangerous things about you and your friends. I've been seeing some
that you
pretty
might
bad
have-
pictures up around town.
I think you might have me mistaken for someone else, my dear.
Oh, no, I'm pretty sure it's you. I never forget a face. Oh, hey, sorry, the shop's closed right now." And you watch as those 4 paladins have pushed the door open and are about to say something, and then with a wave of Hardix's hand, they all, are tugged out of the store as if by, someone hooked to the back of their pants, and the door slams shut as they are pulled out the store and down the street out of sight.
Great.
Amazing.
And then she's gonna turn, look at him, kind of blink. That was interesting.
I was talking to you. It's
And
not
then
very
she-
nice to interrupt.
And she gets like real close into his face. Listen here, you little shit. You left us in some pretty deep shit with the perimeter.
I gave you an opportunity, I would like to say.
Yeah, an opportunity that almost got us killed. You're very lucky that some of us actually are able to speak their language. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure we would have been slaughtered on sight.
A good friend of mine tells me there's no such thing as luck.
Ah, that's so interesting.
That's so interesting because fuck you.
Given that I just so happened to wander into your shop. By the way, I do love a little shop.
Oh, thank you. It's really nice. It's always been kind of like my thing to kind of just have little knickknacks and accessories. And I've always wanted to have a hat
my
shop. And so
God.
it's nice I was able to sit down and, actually get the time for it and anything.
Oh,
Your friends are
Lord.
waiting for you, by the way. You should probably go catch up with them. Bye! And you feel a tug on the back of your armor as you are yoinked out of the store.
As I'm getting tucked away, wait, I wanted to buy a hat.
What hat would you like?
Something purple and made of felt or wool, and that's gonna be nice and fun and droopy and vaguely like sorcerer like. Like
So,
I
like
want
the-
a witch's hat.
You
She
want
wants
like a big
Taco's
purple
hat.
witch's hat?
She
Yeah.
wants the tacos hat.
You want Taco's hat,
I
basically.
think that
Okay.
might be copywritten.
It is not. So there's as you are yoinked out, a hat materializes in your hands of description. And Hardix just waves as you are tugged out of the door and down the street. And Finnan, as you're clopping along kind of nervously looking back, you just see a blur, and Katrina is sitting next to you on the cart.
Nice of you to join us.
I just pull the hat down over my head. God, I fucking hate that guy, but he's so cool.
So that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you all so much for being here. If you are listening to this on iTunes, please be sure to leave us a review because it super duper helps us out. And if you're watching on YouTube, be sure to subscribe, leave a comment about your favorite part, and your predictions for the next episode. Please go check out our Patreon at patreon.com/dicey decisions. There is cool stuff, fun bonuses, maybe music like EP/album released soon. I don't know. Maybe. I could be convinced. Every little bit helps, keeps the lights on, all that good stuff. Thank you all so much for being here. Please be safe, share some love, and tell a story. Good night.